Welcome back to another episode of these crazy people that just eat meat and can't stop talking about it. Today we're back with a few faces we haven't spent a lot of time with lately. And of course, it's Tom and Justin. We got Janice, we got Raymond and Joe from Down Under. So this is our New Year's. This is the day one for us, day two for Joe, 2023. And let me throw it over to Justin. What's our topic today, Justin?
Hi, welcome everyone back to our channel, The Meat Mosaic, where we actually have people that are from Meat Mosaic on the channel for once, besides just me and Tom. So make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you slam a steak on that subscribe button. Throw a lamb roast on that notification button if you haven't done so yet. And let's thumb down for the Liver King and for Paul Saladino, those that have failed carnivore in 2022. But you know what? The people here, this audience, they're not going to fail carnivore 2023. We will not be having 400 milligrams of honey. Will we, boys and girl? Will we? I don't think so.
Maybe as an experiment to see how bad it goes. I don't know.
Or spending $15,000 a month on gear.
There, on roids. There you go.
Well, if I win the lotto, I'm going to buy $15,000 worth of steroids a month. I'm just saying.
And sell it, make more money.
Happens on that, right?
Don't be disappointed. So, since it's been a while since we heard from our buddy Janice, why don't we put her on the spot? What have you been up to? And what are you planning on doing this fresh year?
Well, I'm still carnivore, so let's see. For this year, I think I'm gonna do beef, bacon, butter, and eggs. I'm gonna keep doing my my carnivore coffee. So I do my coffee with Kerrygold butter in it. I am going to keep fasting, so really just kind of natural fasting. So whatever I get to in the day, I usually eat, anytime between noon and like 3 o'clock, and just sort of eat whatever I feel like. So I just fast as long as I can until I get to kind of like hungry, and then like I told you guys, I'm gonna do instead of prime ribeye from Costco, I'm gonna do prime rib cap, because I feel like that's like the fattiest cut of the fatty meat. And I've been doing this thing where I like cut it because I'm lazy and I don't want to cook a steak, so I take the string off and I cut it in little chunks and put it in bacon fat. So I cook it and fry it in bacon fat. I stopped using pepper and now I just do salt on it. So I feel like that really improved my mood a lot, and so I'm going to keep doing that.
Isn't that weird? I keep finding more people that found out that black pepper doesn't agree with them for some reason.
Yeah, somebody I just watched on the video, they said that one is one of the main, I don't know, it has like a lot of oxalates or something. So yeah. I feel like black pepper started to not agree with me. And then even things like I used to add like Cholula to things like spicy sauces or like Tabasco, and I stopped because I feel like, I don't know, like it's weird because I also think it's like flavor wise, I used to like it just to give a little variety or kick to the food, but now I'm back to liking just the taste of like the pure meat, like the taste of butter, the taste of bacon, the taste of eggs. You know how you get your palate changes and you get more like sensitive to like the taste and the smell. Like I feel like I'm back in that kind of zone of like where when you first become carnivore and you like adapt, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, like just meat tastes so good, and like eggs taste so good, like I'll poach them instead of like putting any flavor. So I don't know about salt. I'll probably still keep salt because sometimes I just feel like my body wants it. But yeah, I'm gonna go hardcore carnivore, and like I shared earlier, I'm no longer the wellness person at work, so I'm gonna like start really telling people.
She's now the sickness person at work. She's no longer the wellness person.
Well, a lot of people got like gained a lot of weight and got really like kind of mentally unstable during the pandemic. Like you probably see that, but at my work, we're back to like in person on site, and I'm just like, man, people really took a turn for the worse, like health wise. So I feel like with carnivore.
So was it the pandemic, or is it because of the show Tiger King? I think that show really hurt a lot of people.
Well, that one definitely reduced IQ points.
Anyway, I'm gonna like start pushing carnivore hard again on people because I feel like
Yeah.
it really, out of everything, I mean, I do a lot of different things and explore a lot of things, but I feel like this is like the easiest thing to have major benefits, like in everything. Every time anybody talks to me about anything, I think again, like carnivore can really help you. You know what I mean? You just hear them talking and complaining about anything. You're like, if you did carnivore, you'd probably be fine, within like weeks or whatever. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of back in that headspace of like, this really is like a huge easy opportunity for people to just be better, like everything will improve. So back into the mindset. And I'm going to push it this year. I don't know exactly how, but it's in my goals for myself to like get back to really clean, pure carnivore, and also to like talk about it again and share it with others, because I feel like it's kind of like stingy to not share it if you know that people are struggling with anything and you don't
Proselytize, testify, proselytize.
if you don't even
The
mention
carnivore lifestyle will heal you.
you're kind of a jerk if you like don't tell people.
I think so, and just keep it to yourself. I mean, I don't think that's right. We kind of gotta tell, and not only that, it's kind of like, pharmaceutical people are always like proselytizing their drugs, so we should be able to do it with just food, right?
And the vegans and vegetarians are always pushing the plants.
Vegetarians, oh my gosh,
All vegetarians, I
recently,
know.
there's a person who kind of came into my network. I won't say who it is, but this person is like totally insane, right? And everybody's like, oh my God, this person's totally off. And it turns out that they're vegan.
Yeah.
And so I found out they're
them.
vegan, and I was like, that explains it, because kind of like every vegan I've ever known has been very unstable.
Yeah.
Like emotionally, do you know what I mean? Like where they're
Yep.
not getting something that the brain needs. It makes them like mentally unstable.
Yeah.
That's kind of a harsh thing to say, but I really believe it, because you see people like they go from vegetarian to vegan and then they just get even more like unstable over time. So anyway, thanks for letting me share. That's
Awesome. It's good to see you.
good to see you guys too.
It's been too long.
Yeah.
Haven't had my Janus fix. All right, who we serving up next? Joe?
Yeah.
What's happening down under?
Not much. Not much. It's the second day here. No, last year was a bit of an average year until my vacation, and then just everything sort of, the stars aligned. I think this year, Tom and guys, I'm going to really focus on sleep.
Sleep. Okay.
Yep.
It's a big one.
It's crucial. It's so important. You got to get the diet dialed in. Goals for this year. I've taken up running just recently, so I'm going to into a half marathon. So that is, a proper race. So I've done one in training, so I know I can do the distance. Now it's just a matter of being able to do it, in a race and really push myself. I used to do a lot of cycling. Now it's more about overall general health. I don't want to be a specialist in just one thing. I want to have. I've taken up swimming as well. So you just want to be an anti-specialist.
Well, now you can jump in the pool when all of Australia is on fire. So there you go. You got some place to go swim to now.
Well, or when it's flooded.
To wrestle crocodiles.
Or when it's flooded. So yes, that, I mean, the diet. I'm going to start tracking. I've started tracking my macros again.
Okay.
And that's more for athletic reasons. So I just want to see where that will take me and how long it will take me to get to where I need to get to.
You guys mind sharing your age too? I mean, considering that I like to try and put stuff in context for people who are new to the carnivore idea, like the type of stuff that we're able to do. I'm sure I'm the oldest one here, but Justin's probably the youngest, but You guys in the
Definitely.
middle aren't spring chickens, and it's impressive what you
No.
do at your age. So
So I turn 45 next month.
Woo! That's right.
Yep. And I still, you know, I mean, the guys at work, you know, when I first started, they were laughing, oh, I run, haha. And then they see how athletic I am. And I was like, guys, I'm not even fit. When I'm fit, you know, I'll leave you guys all for dead, you know. um, but yeah, it's, you know, I used to say I don't train so I can eat. I eat so it allows me to train. Yeah, and unfortunately, when you're on a well, for me anyway, on a high carb diet, you can't train. You know, you cramp up while you're sleeping at night. Yeah, you got brain fog. You just don't, you know, you're always looking for an excuse not to go out there. And being carnivore, it's not like that.
Or
It's
you're
like, okay, you
just
know,
so ill that you can't, right?
well, that's right. You know, mentally, but you know, but also your recovery time is so much quicker as well. Like you can just back it up, you know, day after day. So yeah, so they're my goals for this year. So strict carnivore, probably beef and lamb, very little chicken. Chicken doesn't do it for me. If I eat chicken, it makes me sick. I think it's too lean. It's like eating cardboard. There's no, yeah, it's shit house.
we never did our chicken slurry challenge, did we?
No, we didn't.
We're supposed to.
Unfortunately.
We're gonna cook a bunch of chicken and put it in a blender and see who could drink the most.
Oh.
We didn't do it.
No, but we did an In-N-Out challenge, just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Oh
that
my
that
god!
I won.
I eat In-N-Out like because I work right by In-N-Out, and so I
I
get
hate you.
protein style. Like I get a 3x2 protein style. Like sometimes I'll
Mm.
fast until like 3 o'clock, and then I scoot on over there because the drive-thru's empty at that time, and I just get like.
Nice.
Although, like Justin said, the Baconator at Wendy's is the best,
It
but
is.
Well, we didn't
like
try that.
the 3x2 is like a good, you know, like a little carnivore bite. But it's funny that Joe says that you know you don't like chicken because I have the same, like when I said beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, like those are the only things that I feel like are like, you know, obviously beef being the best. But I feel like the other, like chicken, I felt the same way. Fish, like I used to eat quite a bit of seafood and I used to eat a lot of chicken, and now it's like it just doesn't do anything anymore, you know.
What about pork?
I mean, I don't love it. Like I said, I like to use the bacon fat to cook in
Yeah,
to
just
add
bacon,
fat,
yeah.
but
Sure.
I don't love pork either. Like it's just like
Yeah, I'm the same.
doesn't do much. And I'm the same age as you, Joe. I'm 44, but not close to 45. I just turned 44 in September, so we're like the same
Ooh.
age, you know.
We're the cool ones.
But I'm not as athletic as Joe. Not by a lot. I'm like a, you know, I'm doing my X3 or whatever.
But you do X3 and you have a
Yoga.
history of yoga, right?
I do my yoga. I really don't do cardio. Like that's a goal for 2023 is just to kind of like see
Yeah.
whether, well, Raymond, you have to tell us whether or not you actually need cardio. I still am like undecided about whether there's any benefit to doing it other than like maybe like mental or whatever. But like we had this neighbor who she, you know, she doesn't really do any cardio, but she said when she just started being carnivore, she felt like her oxygen level just increased, right? She's a smoker
Yeah.
and she just felt like she was more oxygenated without doing any exercise.
And do it so much easier. Yeah.
So I do think like I felt like, oh, I'm just gonna get my diet like really clean and tight, and then I'll start some cardio and see if it's just easier to like do it because I'm doing this, you know. But I always feel like I take the easy road. I'm gonna get the carnivore solid first, so that I'm like and it'll have every advantage when I start introducing.
Yeah, it's better to make one change at a time, you know. I mean, some people are gung ho. They want to jump into everything head first and whatever happens, happens. But I think for most people, it's like, yeah, you're going to change your diet, change your diet. You're going to do a new style of carnivore, do that. And then, you know, then go for the cardio. That's how I would do it.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Do that, you know, incorporate one thing at a time, then eventually get into weights.
Uh-huh.
You know, you don't have to lift heavy weights. You just got to do light weights. I mean, instead of doing 5 repetitions, you might do 20 repetitions, but of a really light weight.
Right.
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, is everybody should lift.
Well, is the X3 like similar to lifting or no?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's
it's resistance.
it's a good, and it's particularly good place to start if you're not already lifting or doing some sort of resistance training. So
And then you can have muscles like me.
That's it. That's right.
You can
Ooh,
tell
you
I've
are
done
pretty
some
muscular.
X3.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
before
You
I didn't
got-
have any for like
Yeah,
a
you
very
got
long
well,
time.
you got some
This-
nice arms.
Yeah, you
That's
got
X3
definition.
right there on the lightest band and very few
Really?
very few reps because I'm still pretty weak. Because remember I broke my elbow and everything.
That's right. You broke
Mm.
one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think the X3 is great for those that are recovering from an injury or have had a serious injury or something like that. I think it's great for things like that because the worst thing you want to do is aggravate a previous injury.
Yeah, it definitely is one of the safer ways to do resistance training for sure.
Yeah.
So should we go to Ray? Ray, what's shaking? What are you up to?
Yeah.
What are you going to be doing?
So pretty much this year was fortuitous, I guess, in a way really bad, this 2022 year. It started off with, you know, my divorce and stuff. So that was where it threw off all my fasting game that I normally go into a fasting routine during that time. So, and I started noticing a little weight being put on during that time. And I was like, hey, I wonder, could I get back to that same weight if I went a whole year without exercising and having the stress that I put on? And sure enough, I can gain weight, but I'm an easy gainer. So, but I had to do nothing. That's the thing, and literally do nothing. Have very little fasting periods. I mean, you know, there were the occasional fasts and stuff like that, but not really. I don't really count it. But I did manage to get my weight up. So now I want to see, because a lot of people said that, oh, it's because you're exercising. That's why you look so good. And at first I was like, no, it's carnivore, you know. And
Couldn't
now
be
that I
both.
can, right. Now that I notice it's carnivore and fasting, that's the thing though. So if I don't fast, I also don't get the results I want either. So for me, it's just I have to do the combination of it, the trifecta. And that's what I'm going to get back into. So now what my plan is for the whole year, because I've never done this before, I'm going to do an alternate day fast for the whole year. I'm not going to stop. Every now and then I may throw 72s here and there, and I'm just going to see what happens. It could kill me. It could, you know, I always say that, but, you know, I always thought carnivore would kill me too. But, you know, so far it's made me stronger. So we'll see what happens. I've already started. So I've already done 3 alternate days. So it's not that big of a deal. It's fairly easy already. So we'll see what happens. So that's the big offset. And oh yeah, I'll be at Carnivory Con, which I told you guys that. I didn't tell you, Janice. We'll be at Carnivory Con. Carnivory Con in Austin, Texas.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So Bella's gonna be there and all that. So that'll be the first
Lisa's
time I'll
gonna
meet
be
her.
there.
Lisa's gonna be there. I've never
Sean's
met her.
gonna be
You
there,
met her
right?
though, Tom. Yeah,
Okay.
Sean's gonna be there. You've never you've met Lisa though, right, Tom?
Oh, he hasn't.
No, not in
Oh, I thought you
person.
did. Oh,
No.
I thought you met him with Bella that time you saw Bella. Okay. There's Judy Cho's gonna be there. So a lot of big
Judy, I
names gonna
didn't
be there.
meet. She's a nice
Yeah.
lady.
Oh, you didn't?
Right? When is that happening?
Yeah. April 29th, I think.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
Do you need
that'll
a
be
passport
exciting.
to go to Texas? Just kidding.
I do.
Right, Joe does. That's right, Joe does. So that's going to be the big thing. So we'll see. I mean, I may still be big by then. We'll see. Normally, I'm pretty slim by 3 months. So let's see what happens. But you know, this was back then when I did it accidentally. This is the first time I'm doing it purposely. So I'm going to observe myself going down on that way. Because, you know, I didn't know what I was doing before. Now I kind of have an idea of what that nice formula is. So I want to watch it and see what happens.
how are you going to know how much is attributable to which of the three factors? You can't.
Yeah.
I'm not at this point. I don't care anymore. It's like all I know is that getting this big is a little bit more uncomfortable. Although I did not get any of my chronic illness back, so that part is like I will tell anybody just do carnivore just for your chronic illness. But if you want to get in shape, you're going to need to do a little bit more. So that's all I'm saying, right? So if it's chronic illness, you work out, just work at carnivore. But I'm just gonna put it for me. I'm just gonna need this trifecta, and I'm okay with
Raymond,
that as long as I know the answer, right?
Raymond, I just want to ask you, so how many pounds have you put on?
So I got down to 180 and then got up to 220.
Okay.
40 pounds.
And how are your clothes? You've had to buy new clothes, or?
No, that's what's kind of interesting. It's a tighter, but I still can fit
sure.
on my 32, which is weird. So all of that didn't change too much. I'm visually a little bit bigger too, so I don't have my six pack anymore. So, but you know, I'm not as big like my face, right? I didn't get that big puffy face anymore.
No.
Because I remember myself when in my carb days, I was already puffy here, puffy everywhere, looked like a marshmallow man. So I did not develop that again. So
Right, it's like it's inflammation, right, that makes you like carbs. I feel like definitely make you puffy for some
Yeah.
reason.
yeah, no, you hit it on the head, absolutely. But that's the difference. This time I didn't get the puffiness, but it's still fat, right? You know.
Mhm.
So
I got a
good
question for
questions.
you, Ray.
Yeah.
Are you wearing pants?
You already know the answer to that. Why are you asking?
Like I found my
Uh,
original carnivore book. Can you see it? Eat bacon.
Eat
don't
bacon, don't
jog.
jog. I like that. That's
So
funny.
this
Oh
one
my
has a
gosh.
weird list. It tells you that you can eat like kale and like it's kind of like low carb. So it tells you can eat like macadamia nuts and coconut oil and kale instead.
Keto.
Like no.
It's got the bacon. That's all that matters. All you need is the
It's
bacon. Yeah.
pretty funny because I actually eat bacon and I jog after work.
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a
Complete
gateway
opposite.
diet to
This is
carnivore.
eat bacon and jog.
You know, it's kind of funny. You know, for me, believe it or not, I really think I didn't run much on Orange Theory. I ran about 1 mile to up to 3 miles at workouts, so 2 days a week. But that did make a difference on my slimming up. So it does, for me, actually shave off some, you know, get the body composition going. So it does work. But it doesn't take much either.
Can I just quickly throw something in? You say the jogging, bone density. As we're getting older, it is crucial.
I never
you
heard
want
that.
bone
Jogging?
density.
I thought it was bad. You mean
Running,
bad
yeah.
or good?
No, it's very good. If you run correctly, a lot of people go, "Oh, my knees are sore," but it's because you're probably not running in the right shoes, or you're not running correctly. Your stride is not very optimal. But your bone density, you want to increase your bone density. Cycling actually depletes your bone density. It's not very good for you. So as you get
What?
older,
I didn't know
because
that.
it's low impact. It's a low
Oh.
impact sport. So running, it's great. Like from the hips down, I've probably got amazing bone density. I mean, I've got to work on the upper body a little bit. But as you're getting older, you really got to work on bone density because you know if you break something,
No, you're right.
it's
That's where it matters.
not
Yeah.
Your body actually
good.
senses the impact and helps strengthen the bones accordingly. That's why they have these exercises now where they have, you know, people with low bone density bounce or jump or whatever, because
Yeah,
it simulates that. So
very
I
important.
give me a good reason to jog because that was my goal. I want to just do like what you guys are saying, not long distance, but you know, like 3 miles or whatever. I feel like
What? That is long distance. Start with quarter mile.
How about a mile?
Quarter mile.
not for
That's it.
Janice. She's
Just make
next
it very
level
easy.
everything.
Well, that's the thing. You know, if you started small, you're going to consistently want to do it.
Yeah, you're
If,
right.
if you start off with just doing 3 miles, you're going to be like, oh my God, I hate this.
You're right. Thanks for reminding me of that, because you always said
And if
small bites and not like go
Small bites. Yeah.
yeah, and the thing is, if you do it slowly, like almost a little bit faster than a walking pace, over time, your speed just naturally
It just naturally
increase-
goes up. Yeah.
increases anyway.
Yeah.
That's
You-
true.
You know,
You can't stop
know?
yourself. I mean, it just keeps going, and you're like, oh my God, why can't I slow myself down? You just want to go faster and faster. It's crazy.
I'll let you know when that day happens. Guess what? I just can't slow myself down. I just want to run.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I did find out, because I just started the gym about 5 days ago, and something that,
Congratulations.
I don't know, it just clicked again. I thought I was going to be like,
Starting from zero.
Yeah,
but you
starting from
weren't.
zero, but it just clicks. It's just like, oh my God, it's like everything I remembered about the gym. It's like, and it was pleasant. I loved it. So
Nice.
it just felt good. And this time I'm not actually doing it with a trainer, Orange Theory, somebody telling me what to do. So I'm kind of haphazard. So I don't know if I'll get as good of a result, but I don't care. I like going there. So that's kind of nice.
That's a big bonus when you like doing it.
Well, I know you spend a lot of time at yours, Tom, and you love it. So
I do.
you look forward to it. Now I kind of understand that. Wait, what gym are you at? I did a Planet Fitness.
I do anytime.
Oh, anytime. Okay.
He goes to the smallest gym in California. His lounge room is bigger.
Yeah, you could fit that gym in
I've
my
been there. I've
house.
seen it. I've seen his gym.
Oh, it is that small? Oh my God.
Tiny.
Yeah,
No
I've actually
wonder you
been
keep
there.
on saying you have to wait for the weights. I was wondering what you're talking about.
Usually don't, but yeah, sometimes I get surprised because I try and go when there's nobody there or hardly anybody's
Right.
there. And I could go to bigger locations. There's bigger locations closer to my house, but I like that one for some reason because I'm a creature of habit.
That's okay. That's a good thing.
I got my little gym pals.
Yeah, that's right. Right. That matters.
Yeah.
So Ray, I do want to ask you, is his name Dr. Kiltz? Is that
Yeah.
his name?
Yeah.
Who promotes humans being kind of on the fatter side? What do you think about
As
that? At least,
fativores.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or not like fativores is eating, but like keeping extra fat on us
Oh,
is more healthier.
I love how he
Like-
said that. I think because what he said is that evolutionarily the fatter humans survived. And that makes sense. If we were skinny and scrawny, we wouldn't make it through, right? So I love that concept, and I think we put on fat easily so that we can go through hard times. Now, of course, to me that becomes a problem, right? Because as I notice that when I get fatter, I am slower. I'm a little stronger, but I am definitely slower. So for me to chase down an antelope, forget it. I'm not doing that. I started off, Janice,
You
with a
can't
quarter
catch an
mile.
antelope.
That's the thing. Well, I couldn't anyways. Well, no. Remember,
Nobody here can.
wait.
Not even Joe.
Wait.
Joe couldn't
wait.
catch one on his bicycle. What are you talking about?
Back then we out enduranced it. We would track it down. We never outran it.
I
we
know.
would
I'm
just-
teasing you.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah. I thought you knew that, but yeah, we would wear it down because we just keep on finding
Teamwork,
it all the time.
baby.
Yeah,
Who's ready to go gazelle hunting? What did you say?
I
Antelope?
know, gazelle hunt. Wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't that be awesome to find a party like we all get in shape and then try to do like the Bushman does and then try to hunt an antelope? Wouldn't that be cool?
I'm down.
You'd say that.
I'm riding on Tom's back.
I know, right? There you
I
go.
got
I
some-
love it. I love it.
I got some
You give him
extra
some
archery
encouragement
equipment.
with a little whip, right?
Be like, where's Justin? He's sitting down under a tree.
Siesta.
I love it. I love
I
it.
have to put Justin on a furniture dolly and drag him with a rope or something.
Yeah. What'd you think about it, Justin?
Oh, I love the
Dr. Kiltz.
concept. I think
Yeah.
it makes sense. And I think we can, as a fitness community or fitness influencers or whatever, think, and maybe it is, but thinking that, okay, abs are a genetic thing, unless you really,
agree.
really, really work at it. Like you have a genetic predisposition to the amount
I
of
do.
fat cells, body fat, etc., how your body is. And so, and people can run into traps, not really particularly saying someone around here, but that's how you end up with people following people like the king, the liver king,
Liver King.
you know,
Okay.
You know,
Well, whatever it is,
Because-
I know that was not, he's not genetically predispositioned to have those kind of abs. Okay. Nobody is.
And he was still complaining he had too much fat in his love handles.
Yeah.
I'm
He
like,
was talking about his love handles. I'm like, seriously, dude? Wow.
wow.
That's the
Right.
thing.
And-
But
You'll
he's
never
got,
be
but
happy.
he's got some sort of genetics as well, because I mean, there
Oh,
are people
yeah.
out there. No, because there are people out there, and I think I've discussed this with Tom in the past, that jump on the gear and still don't get the results. And the
Really?
They
perfect
don't look like
example,
Liver King. Yeah.
and the perfect example is Ronnie Coleman, 8-time Mr. Olympia. His genetics were supreme,
Off the
you know,
charts.
and it didn't matter. And for many years he used to compete with no
Yeah.
gear, but he was just genetically gifted. Yeah, genetically
yeah,
Wow.
gifted.
he was comfortable at 0.3% body fat.
Yeah.
Comfortable.
Point
Didn't pass out
3.
at point
Less than
3.
1%. He was
Is
fine.
that possible? Oh my God.
It's the
But
only
he was
person
just
I
a
ever
mass-
heard that did it. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a mass monster. So yeah, so I mean, look, the way that Liver King went about it is deceptive. You know, it's like Lance
genius.
Armstrong. It's
It's
like
a marketing genius.
It's a marketing,
Marketing
genius.
genius. Yeah,
Look at
but
us talking about it right now.
Get rich.
That's marketing
genius.
genius right
Yeah.
there.
well, of course, but I mean, it's deceptive as well. I mean, giving people some false hope in that regard. But but I believe he's genetically gifted as well.
oh yeah,
You know,
for sure.
because there's not many people
you
out
might be
there that
onto
can.
something there, right? Yeah.
The 13
Yeah.
tenets of hustling on social media.
I mean, but would you say genetically gifted, spending $15,000?
I don't want to say genetically.
There
mean,
are
that's-
maybe not
pictures.
genetic. No,
There's
no,
pictures
sorry.
of him before he started doing that,
Yeah,
and he still looks really good. Like the
Oh, he
man
does? Oh,
still-
okay,
yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
But I mean, you look up a photo of Ronnie Coleman before the gear, and you go, "Oh my God, he's massive."
Wow.
But you can see everything. He's just
All
shredded.
defined. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
shredded. You know, so yeah. Look, maybe I shouldn't say he's genetically gifted, because that puts him in the same realm as Ronnie. I should say his genetics makeup is probably better than the average person.
I mean,
Well,
still,
as
regardless
far
of
as
that,
bodybuilding goes, right? I
Right.
mean, let's, the
Yeah, of
Ronnie
course.
Coleman had the ideal genetics, the best genetics we've ever seen for bodybuilding, right? So
And we'll ever see.
regardless of that, though, you still
he's got
gotta work
kids, you
at
never
it.
know.
Right. So people, I think, get a false idea of just go carnivore and you'll get 8-pack, 6-pack abs. And
You gotta
that's-
work at
That's just not it. You've got to move into your genetics, whatever your genetic
Yep.
makeup
Blueprint
is.
Mhm.
And I don't know. There's probably more people that better understand that better than me, or maybe all of us. Maybe Tom has a good understanding. I think Tom knows his genetics, and I think that's why he does what he does. I think Joe knows his genetics, and that's why he does what he does. And it takes old types, but I think the humans with extra fat, thing makes sense. I think this below 8%, below 10%, for some people can be, I don't know if I'd say dangerous, but just mentally taxing to get there, and a lot of people struggling to keep it, right? Because we all are going to age. We're all going to get older. We're all going to.
Well, that's the thing, right? Age matters too on the body
Right.
fat percentage. The older you get, obviously, the more body fat. Like I said, the lowest I've gotten was 18% body fat on a DEXA scan, but I measured on the Clipper 12.
Right. So, so many different factors like that. And so trying to push a message of what's realistic in the community rather than, dreams and trying to sell people dreams and sparkles. And I would rather, I think if I had a goal for 2023 is moving myself, just because of certain things in my life, away from my body composition and more back into my messaging, and about, the important things about carnivore is, again, back to that mental health and chronic disease.
The migraines for
The
you,
migraines
for me, yeah,
right.
to me, hands down, that's what it's about. To me, to live a better quality life, whether I choose to be lazy or whether I choose to work out, it allows me to do whatever I want to do. And that's, once it opens that door, I'm happy for it. That's it. It's just that simple.
Right.
The rest is whatever I'm after,
The
right?
icing on top, you know. What,
Yeah,
what
it's the
happened?
icing
You
on
push
top.
yourself.
I've always said that. It's all of that I did was not for the body that I got. That was just bonus, whatever, you know. Well, I mean, what am I going to do with it,
Going
right?
back to like the beginning, like because I've been sort of refreshing my view of carnivore, and I think one of the big things that I still hear people talking about is like counting calories and like just
Oh yeah.
out to offset calories. And I'm like, a calorie is not a calorie is not a calorie. And people like they look at me and it's like, well, I'm in my 40s.
Can you eat heat, sir? Can you eat heat? Can your body digest heat, sir?
Talked about like me putting butter. Like I tell people I put like, you know, at least a tablespoon of butter in my coffee. And I maybe have two of those, you know, depending on, but it's just like telling people at work that like I think for me as a female and going into the 40s, I still have a very like strong libido, and I feel like I have more because I was a vegetarian.
Could you repeat that? Because people need to hear that message.
Well, no, but I think it's like I'm kind of curvier than I ever was. Like as a vegetarian, I was really like, skinny. Well, I just feel like I've got, you know, boobs or
Yeah,
whatever.
moves. Yeah, not like
I have
before.
like
Right.
curves, like where
And butt.
I mean, I didn't have like, if you look back at my pictures as a vegetarian, I was just really skinny, like and flat. And it's like, I just feel like I feel still like very feminine and very like, I still have very like solid libido, a very like, I feel like I try to tell people when they're struggling with stuff, it's like your mental illness thing, that's a piece, right? Your mental health. But I feel like I now like feel like one of the strongest things about carnivore is just your hormones, right? Like eating fat and eating protein, I don't know exactly how, but it gives you like, it keeps hormones going as you get into your older age. And I feel like I have so much energy and like so much like drive that I feel younger than I did when I was in my 20s and 30s and always just concerned for being like skinny and being plant-based. And so it's like, well, you just feel so much better, right? You feel like, and I just like, I'm at home a lot by myself. I like to dance, and like I dance, like I feel like very physical, right?
With the pole,
Nice.
right, Janice?
With the pole.
I have
You're so wrong.
recently, I know this is going to be posted, but I have recently started like getting into like lap dancing.
Lap dancing.
Awesome.
Oh wow.
There's no
Great.
reason for you to be home alone.
I'm just laughing because it's like, it's not too late. Like I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm in my 40s, but with the right dark lighting and the right glove, I could probably still like pull it off.
Nice.
Wow, I assigned you a very high stock value to begin with, and it just went up.
All I'm saying is, what I mean is that just being very like, I never felt like, because I always struggled with like mental illness and stuff and being caught in your mind, I was never connected to between my body and my mind. And
Yes, that's a big difference for
you're
me too.
so like, it's like this really
Yes.
primal feeling that you are like, you're like, your mind and your body are like super integrated, right? And
Yes.
your libido, like everything's just like pumping, you know, like literally, where you just feel like you feel alive. And it's like when you start to deviate, like whatever that percentage is, that you start getting to that threshold of adding things that you don't do your best on, you just feel it. Like everything just sort of like starts to deteriorate, your mindset, your energy, your sleep, you know, all of it, like your drive, your, you know, you're just that, you don't have that same feeling. And that's the part where just kind of going back to like, because I sort of went away from the carnivore space for so long and coming back in, I'm like, this is like freaking, this is major stuff in terms of like your quality of life. And so that's part of why I want to share it again, because I'm like, you just see people every day, you see them suffering, you know, and Elizabeth,
especially at the grocery store, and you're like, oh, you look at their carts and it's just like,
and you can see
Wow,
like,
they look miserable. You
I'm-
see the
I'm
inflammation.
still
someone's
ever
skinny, right?
surprised.
You see that they look like all like pale and like
Mhm.
puffy, pasty, even if they're skinny. Because that's how I was. I was like cold and puffy and pasty and like skinny fat like my whole life, right? And I'm
Vampire.
you look spacey, right? You look like you're out of like, you're not present, you're not in your body. And you know, going through the holidays and just watching people.
Only half the time of that you were stoned. It's okay.
I just think it's funny because now, I mean, I literally will just sort of tell anybody, like if anybody's struggling with anything, I'd be like, hey, you know, have you considered going carnivore? And immediately they're like, well, I like plants. Like I feel good when I eat plants. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't eat
And you
plants.
know they don't eat plants. They eat garbage. So
No, but even
They eat a
They
balanced
eat-
diet.
I
They
know
eat
a lot of
pineapple
women,
and
Balanced diet.
orange.
yeah, but a
Right.
lot of women who eat, like, let's say they do eat like pretty clean, like they eat meat, you know, they eat chicken salads and they're always eating
oh yeah.
like you can feel okay. But I think it's weird that people really believe that that plant is like making
That
them
much of a difference, right? Instead
like,
of the
and I'm
meat.
like, it's so not. And I recently watched Michaela Peterson. Did you guys watch her thing about
Yes.
5 year
Her 5-year one. Yeah, that was so awesome.
Like she
I love
looks
her stuff.
amazing.
She
And
does.
I keep thinking to myself, it's like, how is she not living proof of like, yes, she's young.
Well,
but
to be
oh,
fair, she's had some work done too, but
but she
still, either
has
way, I think she looks great.
I think she said she did have some.
I
She did say
disavow.
that. You
what kind of
disavow.
work? Like physical, like body or face?
Both. She
Both.
had a little face and you know, yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's not hormones like from carnivore.
No. I wish. No. I'd
You
love to
wish.
say that. No, you
But
notice it's
For
quite a
me,
difference.
it is carnivore because I have not
Yeah.
had it done, and I do feel like just like your composition
Fuller.
changes, right? Because you actually have hormones that are creating like femininity, where if you don't have them, you're not going to have any. Like you're just like there's nothing to feed the hormonal system if you're not, you know.
I've
Like
had so many women say they had to buy new bras because of it, because it fits so much better on them, and you know, just different composition.
exactly.
Yeah. More yeah, all of them say more feminine too, so it's like you're exactly saying what a lot of people have been saying.
But
Well,
also,
it just
it's not just your physicality. You feel more feminine.
That's right.
And it's like that's a good thing. Like, you know,
Yes.
I just
No,
like
you're right.
why would you not want to feel feminine, and especially as you age, right? It's like you don't want to feel like you're losing that femininity, you know.
Right.
So,
Mhm.
sorry to turn the topic from goals to like femininity.
No. I mean,
No,
you're
it's
right. I
good
mean, I
stuff.
feel more
People need to hear
masculine
it.
personally, but you know, hey, not more feminine, but that's okay.
It works both ways, right? I mean, I try to tell men because you see just as many men who seem like disconnected just
Right.
as women. Like they don't seem like, and they're still like men are still counting calories, right? They're still telling you, I went to Orange Theory and I burned this much, and now they think they can eat this much. And it's like, you can't, right? Especially as you get older, like that just doesn't work anymore, you know?
Well,
Right.
and I'll tell you, I embrace the whole calorie discussion because it's the thing that people know,
That's
right?
true. That's true.
So, you know, as unimportant as it can become, the other issue, and I think Justin notices quite a bit too, and probably Joe, that a lot of people are under eating still.
Yes.
And so if you don't have some sort of energy unit to discuss, you can't help them understand that they're not eating enough. And it's so easy to undereat because we've been trained to do it. We know all these tricks to suppress appetite and fill our cells up with water or whatever. And then they wind up under eating, and then they don't feel good, and they're not, their muscles aren't growing, and their adipose tissues and shrinking. And it's like, yeah, well, you're under
Probably not even losing weight.
Yeah.
Because of it as
Yeah.
well.
or they're just
Yeah,
losing
it can happen.
muscle.
extreme
Or muscle.
deficit.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why I harp on people. Look, for the first 2 weeks, you should eat until you're stuffed. See, I don't like going calories because I don't really, you know how to measure it, what's right for them. But I know that everyone should figure out how to stuff themselves, and that's why, of course, I get flack about it all over the internet. But still, whatever. It worked for so many people who are just starting out. So
Well, and that's a good, that to me, that's an education in calories, really, without talking about calories, right?
right.
Eat till you're stuffed. Okay. And then you don't want to eat quite that much in the future, but you realize
Exactly.
you ate a shitload of food and you didn't blow up like a balloon. You got healthier. So
Right.
you can back off now and
You can
realize
back off now. Yeah.
you
Because
need to
now
eat
you know
you need to
what
eat
to
a lot
eat.
more than you thought you did. Right.
Well,
Right.
well, I mean, going back to what we were saying before we recorded, you know, I can eat 200 grams of protein but it's only 1,200 calories. So I've reached my protein
Right.
threshold for me. I think counting calories is for people that are on a balanced diet when they're eating all the other shit that goes with it. Seriously, because it is very easy to reach.
It stops them at one supersized Big Mac meal with a large shake.
Yeah,
basically
it's basically right.
does.
Because for I should be consuming 2,400 calories a day. It's impossible for me to get there on just meat.
Well, I was gonna say you could do it with shakes.
On a higher protein.
Right. You could do it with shakes.
Can't. No, you can't.
With shakes, you
because
can.
because I've been taking a high quality protein shake because I've been doing a fair bit of training.
You couldn't put it down?
No. There's no way I can't even reach 2,000 calories a day. It's impossible for me at the moment.
I tried to tell you how much work it is eating enough.
It is. It's a lot of work. You got to take it serious. Yeah. And the more you work out, the more you got to take that part more serious too.
Yeah.
And you have to eat more protein and fat if you're on a carnivore diet because, and again, there's more calories in fat than there is in protein.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why I still talk about calories, because I realized I was in severe caloric deficit and just struggling all the time because I didn't know what I needed. Now we have all the electronics that give us a good idea of how much energy we're expending, and we extrapolate that into calories, and we eat quality calories, right? We eat muscle meat and animal fat, right? So how much of that do you need? I mean, Joe's saying, what were you saying? 2,400 calories a day about?
Yeah. So for what I've worked out, it's about 2,450 or 2,480 calories a day I need to consume. But the thing is, if you're tracking your macros, if you're eating fat and protein, it's unless you cap your protein or whatever it is, 200 grams, and then you just eat fat the rest of the day, man, for me it's impossible.
Yeah, that's the issue I ran into too, trying to get the fat in, and just like your appetite just keeps shutting down, and
then it makes you sick as well, all that fat. It makes me feel nauseous. I can't do it.
I'm not gonna stuff myself and go lift because that's miserable. You know what I mean? So for me, and I'm an average day for me is like 4,200 calories worth of energy. That's a lot of fat. Plus, on top of that, I'm trying to get in anywhere from 300 to 600 grams of protein. That's a chore, But if I want to lift every day, if I want to keep putting on muscle and getting leaner, that's what I have to do.
That's what I'm going to try to figure out. I'm going to see how it works with eating every other day and see. Oh, by the way, I have a new formula that I'm trying out. So Dr. Mindy Peltz talks about it. She talks about the 13-7. So I'm sorry, 17-7. So 7-hour eating window where you eat 3 meals. The idea is never get your meal so big that you'll create an excess amount of glucose. That way the glucose doesn't go to fat. So you're eating smaller portions, but 3 times, but overall you're eating the same as you would. I like that concept, so I'm going to start it, but I'm going to do it with like 41-7 instead. And because
did you ever measure a high glucose measurement from eating protein?
That's a good question. That's actually a really good
genuine
question.
Spike.
I don't like pricking myself, so I never did that.
I don't know if you guys are in that carnivore fix group, but what's his name? The euphoric guy did an interesting experiment. I posted it in our Four Amigos, where he, I don't know, supposedly gained like 20 pounds eating just meat. And he said like his blood glucose spiked, his testosterone dropped. Like he has a lot of claims.
From doing what?
What was that, Ray?
From doing what? From eating.
So his regular carnivore and then eating way more, like an extra 3 pounds a day, in like a month time. And he said like he had all these negative effects and he looks kind of like bolt like bulging, like his stomach or
Mhm.
whatever.
Yeah.
And he said like he lost energy, was only able to do like half a workout. I don't know, all kinds of interesting claims. And the dude's super fit, and I guess the dude's back to, like I said, it took him like 2 months to get back to baseline, and is trying to, I guess, push back against the idea of that we typically say in the community, eat as much meat as you want, asterisks ish, right? Because no one's really exactly making that claim. But
Yeah,
it's kind of more of a phrase, and more of a phrase for people that are just starting out.
that's for
Yeah.
beginners.
For
Yeah,
beginners.
Yeah,
This
but
is
I'm
different.
but I mean,
right?
are they eating beef short ribs in barbecue sauce? You know, I mean, are they eating deli meat that's full of preservatives?
Well, and that's the thing that this guy put. He said he just ate meat, and he didn't give any like macros breakdowns. He didn't show any
Oh.
pictures of the actual meals. I'm not saying he's lying. We've had him on the show. Hey, Euphoric, if you watch this, you want to come on and talk about it, I'd love to come on and have you
Did
on
we
and talk
already do a
about.
video with him? We
You'd
should be
love
able
to
to
come
get
on.
Yeah.
You'd love
in touch
to
with
come
him.
on.
Yeah. So
I mean,
But-
I agree with him. I mean, it makes sense. Go on.
But I just think that would be, I mean, I just feel like, again, how much of that is genetics, and probably his body's used to
well,
functioning and doing things a certain way.
I'm
And-
calling Justin out because he said more than once in a video that you can't just eat meat and gain weight, gain body fat. And I was like, well, I don't.
But you
I
and
know
I,
that's not
you and
true.
I've been saying this for ages, haven't we, Tom? We've been saying
Yeah.
it for years. People eat meat, and they're always complaining that they're putting on weight.
Yep. Well, no,
Yeah.
we got a lot
Well,
of people in
I
our
mean-
group having
And
that
then
issue.
and then let's face it, again, just like everything else, high fat, low protein, or whatever. People say they're putting on weight, they're jumping on the scale, and you go, well, are your pants tighter or not?
Well,
Right?
True, but the
I-
weight goes up in the weight scale.
Right, but is it are they putting on muscle and getting
Muscle.
leaner, or are they accumulating more body fat? It's a composition question, right? Because both can happen, right?
I got more fat. Fat.
Well, you did, yeah, but you could.
Yeah.
You used to work out like you're Mr. Karate Jiu-Jitsu.
Well,
and
you're
then
right.
just
You're right.
stopped,
You're
just-
right. You're right. You're
just
right.
sat
you're right.
around in your
Still,
boxers.
yeah.
eating
But still, I'm
English
just saying
cheddar.
it's not like my composition stayed. It did not.
Right,
Right.
for sure.
But you
I mean,
also said that you're a little stronger.
Well, yeah, but you know how Tom says it all the time. When he has weight on him, he can lift a lot more. I mean, that's the same thing.
well, I said when I fast,
That's for everyone.
when I fast, I don't my ability to lift to make improvements and break PRs goes way down. Right. It
right.
doesn't happen when I fast.
So my
Ah.
biggest gripe with his experiment is that it was 28 days, and good on him for keeping up something like that and giving us the data, all that. My thing is that, okay, do this for 3 months, 6 months, because I truly believe the body will rebalance itself
Mhm.
when, and either he'll start exercising
Changing
more,
appetite also.
or
Yeah.
appetite will slow down, or
Well-
etc. Because people are like, I could eat 5 pounds of meat a day, and I'm like, do that for a year straight. I've never seen anyone be able to like eat 5 pounds of meat for a year straight and see what happens. Is that
Well,
truly harmful? Because did he do measurable damage to his body in the 28 days? To me, that is the core question. At
Justin,
least-
Well, that's a good question to ask right there.
Yeah.
And
You don't
again,
give your body
we
chan-
might be
chance to-
overgeneralizing because I mean Justin can't eat 5 pounds of meat a day for a year.
Listen, I ate more than him over there.
He
Okay,
did.
Yeah, I ate more than he stopped.
I
at
was
6
jet
He
lagged.
stopped at.
Jet
You were
lagged.
jet lagged. You live in the same country, you banana. Mate, I flew jet lagged. I'll make you jet lagged. Don't worry. Yeah,
I
just to
didn't
throw it
have
out,
my performance enhancing drugs either.
he ate 6 Flying Dutchmen. I had 9.5.
Yeah, that's quite a bit. How many pounds is that?
I don't know. I felt sick after it, but it was a
Oh,
lot.
I'm sure you did.
There's 4 ounces of meat and 2 pieces of cheese in each Flying Dutchman. So
Mm.
it's not
Tom
a
was
tremendous-
smart. Tom didn't do 2 slices of cheese.
No, well, what happened was, like, I started off with 6, and then there was just the 3 of us. Then Raymond, Neff
Yeah.
Mhm.
showed up. So I had to show him that us Aussies aren't, pussies like you guys
You're a
over
big
there.
winning.
Yeah.
There you
But I
go.
tell you what, mate, I couldn't look at another Flying Dutchman till the next day.
Mhm.
Yeah, when he ended up, Joe was like, "That's it, no more In and Out." We had it like 2 days later, or a day later, like more In and Out. It was hilarious. It was awesome.
Made the most of it.
I have a friend who's a new carnivore, and he's been like doing it for like a month, and he hasn't really had like he's the only person who's ever told me that he doesn't notice anything. And I was thinking, how long does it take? Like, does carnivore work for everyone? And how long does it take for it to like create something new for people?
Actually,
What's that?
you're right. I've had some people who's done it for 6 months and still waiting for some kind of result. They keep hearing all these miraculous stuff and it's not happening for them. So some people it doesn't, I guess, which I find that baffling because I mean, for me, I felt my PRs go up. I felt a lot of things go up. So
Yeah.
Well, I
I
think
don't
it comes
know.
back to mindset and how into your body and setting what I mean, weight loss is like everyone's goal, body composition is everyone's goal. I think all that stuff, I mean, for some people it does come earlier, but I think for most people a lot of that comes later. So I think that's very individual, I think. And here's the thing though, you could at least tell them, well, you're not continuing to do damage and you're making sure that you do not increase your risk, sort of, depending on how technical you want to speak to this
Well,
person, of
we can't guarantee that
diabetes.
either.
Right. Well, I'm not saying guarantee, but you may be reducing your risk of Alzheimer's, something like
Well,
Alzheimer's.
and what did these people do? I mean, we're all comparing stuff from being active one way or another. Joe's cycling and running. Raymond was doing Orange Theory, barefoot racing, and Janice is doing yoga and X3 bar or whatever. And so if you got somebody who doesn't really do much, maybe there's not much for them to notice, right? Because if you change your
True.
diet, your body is going to adapt to that diet, right?
Right.
But if that adaptation doesn't give them some advantage in some activity or something, then what is it? What is it that they're looking for? What are their goals? And what is it in their life that it could possibly affect?
Well,
And
I
I think there's this, sorry, Janice, is this thing of the seen versus the unseen, right? Tom's been, and I've been too, and I'm gonna read Dr. Palmer's book, or at least I have it on Audible with my credit. Woohoo! But this whole delving really deep into mitochondria, because that just seems to be so important, right? And
Absolutely.
just a lot of these diseases, illnesses, chronic illnesses, etc., seem to stem from mitochondrial damage.
Right.
Now, if
Dysfunction,
fine.
yeah.
If let's posit the idea that carnivore is the least mitochondrial, dysfunctional, disruptive, damaging diet, that is the message, in my opinion.
That's cool.
Sure.
That's the
right.
focus.
Right. That I can go with for sure.
That's a good argument, because I hear, like, I was talking to that other guy I was telling you about, who's like, major, like, does all the macros, works out, does all this like highly competitive stuff. And I'm thinking, he was like, he's researched a lot of this stuff, and he says, oh, but everybody's different, like that there's this individuality. And I just still don't believe that like you can sort of do any form of any diet, like eating plants and eating grains and all this, and still have that same, like, I feel like there is an optimal fuel for people, for humans, and I
I do agree.
And it's like, people will argue with you and go, oh, but everybody's different, and I'm like, we're not that different. I mean, we have some differentiation, but we're like, in terms of the basic fuel type, I just still don't believe that.
Well, we need the meat to rebuild our bodies, right? To create the fluids, to all that. right? So
But I feel like if you add these other things, those are just, they're neutral to damaging, right? Like to Justin's point, it's like you don't see it damaging your mitochondria, but it is, and people
Right.
just think, oh, well, I seem
Yeah.
fine. I like my salad, or I seem to do well, but it's like that's all just like conjecture. Like they're not noticing any damage occurring, And so they
Right.
think, oh, it's not harming me. And then in their mind, they believe it's helping them, so they just keep doing it. But I just fundamentally, after like more than 3 years of carnivore, I'm like, no, all fuel types, you can't just pick and choose and create some individual plan. It just doesn't work,
Well, I mean, the
Right.
first night,
let Joe go. He's
all-nighter.
been waiting. Justin,
Yeah.
let Joe talk. He's been waiting.
No, that's okay. I was just going to say, I think people need to be a little bit realistic as well. I mean, you've abused your body for 30, 40 years.
Good
And then
point.
in 28 days, you expect a miracle. Like, people have got to be, they've got to be realistic. It can take up to 3 months, can take up to a year, whatever. I mean, yeah, it's just, and they got to stop looking at their phones and going, oh, look at this. You got to take Instagram and Facebook with a grain of salt, because you don't know what bullshit people throw out there. Liver King, for example. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, so you don't know that. And I think by stressing about it all the time, your cortisol levels is elevated, and that's going to stop you from losing weight as well.
You're right, Joe. There's a lot of play, not just a diet, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, that's a big
100%.
portion. But yeah, there's absolutely a lot of other
But there are
things at play.
people, but Raymond, there are people that will step on the scale every day.
Oh yeah, no,
you know
no,
what?
no,
You don't need
totally
to.
aware of that. That's right. I
You don't
totally
need
agree.
to.
Yep.
And they stress out. They see the number go up. It's like, oh my God, the number's gone up. Yeah, but maybe because you didn't sleep right. Maybe because you ate too much the other day, or there's so many different factors. It's not just diet. Maybe
Right.
your sleep. You can develop type 2 diabetes from not sleeping correctly.
Oh, absolutely. Right.
You
Or
know,
stress.
or
Or stress.
over exercising too.
Right.
It can happen.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
right.
if there's somebody who tries carnivore for a month, 6 months, or whatever, and their quality of life hasn't increased, does that happen? Do we know anybody that's happened to?
That it's what?
Their quality of life has not increased.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there was
happen.
this. Yeah, I've seen.
I'm
this.
sure there's somebody out there, but it's
There
it's
is,
got to
there
be
is.
rare, right? I mean,
Well, I mean, I think
Yeah,
it
yeah,
depends on
it's
quality
very
of
rare.
life. I mean, they're probably less stressing about grabbing a bunch of cooking ingredients. They probably save some time, eating and cooking and stuff like that. So, again, it depends on what we're trying to measure and what we're looking for, and being aware of, quality of life. That's big picture. That's a big, all of us, when we hear that, think of something different.
I think
Right.
they've just got to go with the flow, in the first 3 to 6 months, and maybe not walk down the biscuit aisle at
biscuit
Stater
aisle.
Brothers or whatever.
Don't go to
yeah.
Aldi's. Aldi's makes really hard to stay carnivore. Just throwing that.
What
out.
is that? What
I
is
have no
that?
idea what that is.
Oh,
And
it's
you know
all
what?
blurry.
the blur city.
And just to throw this out there, I've been to the States. I was there just recently. For anyone to turn around and say to me, it's hard to go, let's just say keto, they're kidding themselves. You have aisles full of
Oh,
Keto.
Yeah.
that's like
Don't
cookies,
do it.
man. That's like normal cookies. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
they're all these. That's what I said. Don't if you want to fail carnivore in 2023, go shop at Aldi's, because you will fail.
If you want to make a lot of money, sell supplements that people don't need, or put keto on the label. Doesn't matter what it is. Just put
Yeah.
keto.
I
on the
know,
label.
right?
There you
Keto
go.
on the label. Yep. Make your flour out of tapioca and some other
Almond
crap.
flour and stuff.
Almond flour, yeah,
Yeah.
and call it keto. Still the same bad stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Anyways.
Just quickly, what about Tom? Tom hasn't. Justin, you tell us what you're going to
Yeah.
do for 2023, and Tom.
Tom.
Well, I mean, my same old stick. My current experiment, of course, I lift every day, eat meat every day, and I have a magic green chair that likes to pop in and out. But anyways, so my recent experiment was Justin and I had talked about an article that they were feeding raw eggs to burn victims to help them grow their skin back. So they're, like
Oh wow.
they were
Well, 30 eggs a day. They weren't all
36.
particularly
36 in the
36.
study. Yeah.
To grow their
So
skin back,
not
grow feathers,
all-
more like it.
so these are people in like really bad shape that they're feeding through a tube typically, right?
Right.
And then the frequently people do experiments with bodybuilders, strength trainers, or they eat a lot of eggs, and they say, they felt it was somewhat comparable to cycling anabolic steroids,
Yeah, I
stuff
read
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I was like, well, I'll drink 30 eggs, raw eggs in a day, see what happens, because I love a good experiment. So
And?
it was no big deal. It turned out it came out to about 6 cups of liquid, so 6 cups worth of eggs, and didn't
So
seem
is
to.
that divided throughout the day? Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I'm not chugging them down, force myself. I mean, like I said, I don't like being stuffed, and I didn't know
Right.
what would happen if I ate that many in one day. Because I mean, for me, eating a dozen cooked eggs in a day, that's kind of. But the liquid raw egg, actually goes down nicely. It's,
And
so
Tom, they have to be grass-fed organic chickens, right? You're not having conventional eggs on us now, are you?
it's California, man. It's like everything's got to be like organic, cage free by law. I mean, there's a great
Right.
big California freaking sticker on it. So, I did it for a day, and then I went back to the store to buy eggs, and of course there weren't any eggs because we have a freaking egg shortage. So, but I've since secured more eggs, and I'm continuing the experiment, see what happens. Now, 30 eggs for me is only like half of what I got to eat in a day anyway. So,
Right. So you're having steak with that, right? Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm
This
curious
is
about how that
your
turns
Your
out.
goal for 2023, like the whole year. Are you gonna do
His,
this?
his
I'm just
goal
gonna
is to
see-
look like a chicken.
I figure I get it, I'll get as many eggs in as I can for at least a month and see
Wow.
if I notice any difference. Then of course that's contingent on a egg supply. So
God,
So
I would have to
anyways.
block my nose to eat that. To drink that, I should say.
Oh, I love drinking raw eggs. I mean, I kind of have for a
Oh my
while.
God.
It's
I
such a
blend them
pleasure.
so they're like smooth, because otherwise
Oh, that's smart. Yeah, because you'll have
yeah,
that
it's
chunk
easier to
going in.
drink when they're just
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I tried it with a little bit of coffee one day. I haven't been drinking coffee like I used to, but I put a little in there for flavor because of course they're really bland. It was all right. But so I'm
Coffee with 30 eggs. Oh, sorry, 10 eggs at a time. Ugh, horrible.
yeah, it was just okay. So, but I'm kind of like curious, like if there's something good to flavor. Maybe I'll just stir in some bacon or something, give it some flavor. I don't know.
Actually,
Bacon and
yeah,
eggs,
low
they-
fat. Yeah, that's a good idea. Bacon grease. Yeah.
Well, I was just thinking like because I used one of those
Little
immersion
chunk of bacon?
mixers, and it'll
Oh, yeah.
grind anything
They'll grind the
up.
whole thing.
So I'm,
That's a
maybe
damn
I'll
good
put
idea.
some bacon in there, just like grind it in.
Oh, watch out. Tom's coming
Pastrami.
out with a recipe of a very nice shake, it sounds like.
I did.
Oh my,
Carnivore
have some-
shake.
not
I
nice
did have some-
shake. Oh my God.
I did have some collagen powder, collagen peptide laying around.
Just throw a tad of honey in it, and you could
Ew.
sell that on the market. There you go. You can market it right there.
Ew.
I don't think
With
honey
some mango
would-
on the side.
Do you think
Yeah,
honey would
man.
even
Or a
blend in?
vanilla,
Right
or
now.
like a vanilla extract, maybe just a couple drops.
Yeah, maybe
Yuck.
something like that.
No, horrible. Stop mentioning all this crap. My God, Justin, you're ruining the shake here.
Hey, we're trying to have $1 million. Listen, I truly believe that Tom is
You
smarter.
don't
than
think a
Paul
little bit of
Sal-
liver blood would be better?
The only thing you're going to get a $1 million lawsuit for someone who didn't got sick. It's the only
Put
thing
some
you'll
liver
get.
blood in it. That'd be good. Gives that extra pep on it.
Yeah, that doesn't sound tasty.
No.
but
That
thanks.
gives you the sweetener, right? I
Thanks.
mean, you don't need honey when you got
liver
liver.
blood is
Liver is sweet.
Uh,
Yeah. Well, I think so. You guys don't think so?
I love liver.
I wouldn't describe liver as sweet. No.
No.
To me, it is very much.
Yeah, I think it is.
Really?
It's yeah.
See,
I
There you
agree with
go.
Raymond.
Other people have said that. Yeah, especially
Hmm.
raw. You definitely can tell the.
I
little
won't
sweetness.
have it raw. I'll have it. I like it seared, and that's it.
Yeah, just
I
seared
can't,
where in
I,
the middle is.
Yikes.
yeah, I can't have it raw.
Yeah.
I
You've had it, right,
prefer the
Janice?
liver raw just because
Yeah,
it
I
doesn't taste as strong when it's raw.
Yeah. Janice,
But-
you tried liver, right?
I don't like liver at all.
Oh,
And
you don't at all? Oh,
before if we can finish up with goals, but Ray, I don't want to forget to ask you, because one of my goals for 2023 is to increase flexibility. And I remember you said like something you were doing. Was it fasting or
yeah.
you said
Pole dancing. He does pole dancing.
Hilarious joke.
But I know Ray didn't do pole dancing to get his flexibility. So what was the key thing to get increased flexibility?
For me, it felt like it was fasting.
Okay.
Yeah. So
How
the
long
deep
does it have to be for me to notice that it's going to increase?
when I was doing the alternate day fasting, it didn't take no time before things just started loosening up, and you just feel a lot more. I don't know. It's because I'm losing a lot, and then that's what made me flexible, or is it because there's less inflammation? I don't think I have any inflammation as a carnivore anymore, but I don't know. Something about the way the composition is and everything just seems to, work together. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
But for you, you're fasting anyways. You should see if you notice any flexibility with the fasting, with the intermittent
Well, I
fasting
did
you do.
notice that like I basically didn't do any like yoga or stretching for a really long time, and when I came back to it, I feel like there was no loss, because I feel like I still have little inflammation, and I'm still
Yeah.
getting advantages. So it's like I just kind of picked right back where it was in terms of flexibility. Normally, you know how you hear people where if they don't do any stretching, they get like really stiff and like
Stiff,
they
yeah.
lose a lot by inactivity. I felt like I didn't really lose anything. I'm just back to where I was, which is pretty flexible, but not extremely, which I want to get more flexibility. So I'll just
The way I can tell you is when I went off and I just ate, I lost flexibility.
okay.
I can't do near as much of a split. My one-handed push-ups can happen, just not as much. My higher kicks is a little bit less, but again, remember, I'm more voluminous, right? So
Yeah.
to me, I don't know if it has something to do with that. I could be naturally flexible like this. It's just things are in the way. So whenever those things aren't in the way anymore, so so the question is there some genetics behind it too? I don't know.
Well, just like when you're building your Dungeons and Dragons character, you get so many points, and if you put so many points into strength, you lose points on dexterity, on your
Right.
dexterity throws. So
Love how you say
yeah,
that.
yeah.
There you go. Yeah. I wish I could tell you exactly, but you're gonna have to play with it and find out what yours is. All I know is me doing those tests, I can tell the difference. So
Thank you.
yeah. Cool. Awesome video. I've got a coaching in about like 10 minutes. So
No, yeah, we've been at it for a while, but it has been a great video. It's been good catching up. We'll have to try and stick together a little more this coming year. Talk about all our crazy experiments.
We have to talk to BNS.
update it. Yes.
Yeah, he sent me a
Yes.
great little
Yeah.
He's
eager
coaching
message
now.
last night.
Yeah, he's coaching now again. So
that's
and
awesome.
he's working out. And I told him to reach
Uh-huh.
out to you, Tom, because he was like asking me for tips. I'm like, you don't talk to me about exercise. I don't know nothing about that. Talk to Tom. so
It's funny because just recently, like somebody made a comment. They're like, you were at the gym over 30 times last month, and there was only 30 days in the month. What? Who the hell does that? And I'm like, you stalking me or something? What the hell?
somebody's watching you. Somebody's
And then
watching
somebody
you.
else is like, somebody a lot younger than me was texting me. I just texted him Happy New Year and like, yeah, I saw your pictures on Instagram. How do you do that? I'm like, well, you eat meat and lift weights. That's basic.
You
The
just do
basics,
it.
right?
And you're not there for 2 hours each time.
Yeah.
Well,
No, I don't.
he's there quite a bit. Aren't you there quite a bit for long?
Yeah, but I don't do long workouts.
Okay.
Yeah. No, well, sometimes, but most of the time they're short. I'm in and out usually in 45 minutes easy. Sometimes if I'm in a hurry, like today, I was probably only there for 25 minutes because I had to rush home and for this video. But I'll probably go back afterwards.
Of course, you
Because
will,
actually
of course.
splitting up
do a double
workouts
session.
works really good for me. So, I mean, when I walk in there now, I could start fresh like I did earlier when I was there. Like it's like I didn't even work out today because I'm already recovered, and I can repeat that and stimulate more muscle growth.
Hey, why not? I like it. Well, I'll let you know how mine goes. Like I said, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I will be working out.
Yeah,
so.
but keep us up to date, Raymond. It'd be interesting to see
Sure.
the transformation.
Did you
Um,
take
especially
pictures? Because
especially now that you're. So I
Yeah.
was just going to say, especially now that you're a bit older, I mean, everything changes. The older you get, it seems to be a little bit harder
Hey,
to.
you didn't know me that when I was that. I mean, like a year difference, really, 2 years difference. So.
No, what I'm saying is from when you last lost weight till now. I mean,
Oh yeah.
you're a bit older now. Does it change? Is it a little bit harder to lose weight? Harder to
Right.
gain to gain muscle?
Yeah. If you let me share screen, I can show you guys real quick if you want to see it.
Yeah.
You'll see my fatty self.
Should be available.
Ray, I want to ask you an embarrassing question, but it's something
Ask.
you've talked about before.
Yeah.
How
Look at that,
about
no six pack?
how about your libido? Have you noticed any change in your libido?
No, it's kind of the same there. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
So see, I can't even form anything right there. Of course, this was, wait, let me see. This was probably the last time I saw my six pack. So let's see, that was in June. Oh no, September. Sorry, September. So you keep it up long enough, you start losing it.
Man, you got a lot of pictures of yourself in underwear.
Well, what'd you want? Naked?
No,
Gotta
and
pay extra.
let's just point out real
Yeah.
quick that you probably do need to do some exercise to get abs of some size, but this is largely a function of leanness, particularly in the abdomen, right?
Yeah.
That's how you can see the abs. Because I can guarantee you my abs are a lot bigger than Ray's, but you can't really see them. They're not there because there's a little bit too much fat in the way.
I would
Well, no,
attempt
you got
to-
abs. Yeah, absolutely.
I would attempt to punch Tom in the stomach, but I'd probably break my hand.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing about lifting, because like if you're gonna do squats and you get up there to more, you get in that range where you're squatting more than you weigh or something like that, you have to have a strong core, right, to support all that weight.
You do. There's no way around
yeah,
that. Right.
so-
Right. Absolutely. So
Actually,
you got
can I
it. You just need to lean up. That's it. And then you'll show it.
I just want to throw in there. I've met Tom in person.
Yeah.
He's one strong motherfucker.
He's solid.
Strong.
Yeah, I'll
he's
bet.
Yeah.
fucking. He's like he's legit. When he says he's strong, it's no bullshit. He's fucking strong. He's really
Yeah.
strong. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I heard
mean,
about what he lifts. I don't doubt it at all.
You know,
And I
Yeah,
can
and
tell you, if you met me in person, it would not be the same. So
Well, both you and Justin were talking about how you could wear a size small t-shirt. I was like,
right. I wear a
"What?"
size small comfortably. I still
Maybe-
can wear that size small, believe it or not.
Maybe
but it
when I
doesn't
was
look good on me.
in sixth grade or something.
Did you ever wear a small, Tom? Anything?
But I never wore a small before in my life, so that
Oh,
was
wow.
nice. So, carnivore still did a lot. I don't know. I'm one of those people that carnivore just did a lot of good things.
yeah.
Like Janice. Janice has a huge list of good
mean,
things for her. I'm the
Janice
same
looks
way.
like she's 20 years old.
I know, right?
Well,
She
I got
does
the
every time I
gym
see her.
too, though.
I
got
know.
the
She looks so
gym.
young. I want to adopt her.
I know, right?
You can adopt
Uh,
it. Cool.
Borderline
But I
date
do
the
have to.
dog.
I have to admit, though, there are some people that the carnivore diet works really well for.
Well, yeah. Look at
Very
M.
well, there's no question. Yeah, M.
M
I mean,
dropped
it's
100
really
pounds in a
embracing it.
year. Like, I mean, that's a
Yeah, like
stellar
nothing.
story,
Like
right?
nothing.
Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan's another one. Looked fantastic.
Mm.
Dan
Who?
looked half his age.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
You talking
Dan.
about Dan? Well, the one that did the 30-day fast.
No, Dan was the one when I first jumped on Sean's
I
group.
remember
I
him.
met
I know you're talking about. Mhm.
from he used to live in Costa Mesa.
Then he
and
moved
then
to
there's
Texas
Kat.
or something.
Yeah, and then Cassie's
Yeah.
another one. Cassie looks
Cassie's
fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Another one. Fuck.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Man, she
amazing.
looks great. She looks really good, you know?
yeah. I met her in person actually. She was solid too. It
Yeah.
was kind of interesting. Other
I
than the
met-
loose skin.
I
So
met
that was
Cassie.
it. Of
Cassie came to one of Bella's
Yeah, that's right.
meetups
you?
at
Okay.
Wild Wings in Long Beach or something like that. So I got
Yeah.
to meet Cassie there. Yeah, she's still looking better all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, listen,
yeah.
the next time I'm there, we have to all meet up. All of us. No excuses.
Yeah.
All right.
No, don't go all right, and then you don't.
Then
Yes,
I did that last time.
100%, Joe. 100%.
Oh,
Mate, we
hey,
had
my
the
call's
best
happening.
time.
So
All right.
yeah, I
Bye,
know.
Ray.
Drop out.
Sorry, I got
See you,
dropped.
Ray.
Bye,
Sorry.
Ray.
Ciao, ciao. Good to
All
see
right,
you.
bye.
Bye
Good seeing you, Ray Ray. Oh, look, everybody's bigger on my screen now.
bye.
Mm,
That
how
was
much
good.
fun did we have today?
Too much.
Yeah, well, how long we've been on? We've been
Over
2.5
2
hours.
hours. Yeah.
Yeah,
2.5
we
hours.
didn't record that long, but yeah, we've been talking
No.
that long, right? Amazing.
Yeah, I think we covered some interesting topics. Again, I think it's just important that people keep it realistic. Yeah, people have to be realistic.
Yeah, results may vary, and I mean, it depends on what your goals are, and you know how old you are. How many times? I think a significant thing is like how many times you yo-yo dieted, you know, in the
Oh, yeah.
past, gone up and down, I'm down. You know,
Mhm.
it happened a lot for especially people my age. You know, it's like trying all these diets coming along. You don't know what the hell's going on, and you lose some weight, you struggle, you basically are starving yourself, eating crappy food, and then
Yep.
as soon as you lose your grip on that, and you put all the weight back on plus more. So
It's
like-
I heard a little tidbit on that. I guess her name is what, Rena? She was interviewing someone that he said also how much, like how many oxalates you've consumed. Because a lot of people consume, they're told to consume certain things that are like super, like I consumed a lot of like spinach and kale and like all these really like, and I had so much pain, right? Like from all of that. And then they were saying how like the amount of just digestive distress you have will be how much dumping, like how much oxalate dumping you're getting rid of all of that from like decades of ingesting those good foods, those plant foods, and it's like your body's like, finally we can get rid
you
of
know,
it.
and that's the thing. Results vary because I'm sure I ate a lot of high oxalate foods, and I'm sure I started dumping those oxalates at some point and never noticed it. And then you know, we meet people all the time, they start carnivore and their kidney stones start breaking up, right? And the initial confusion is carnivore caused the kidney stone. It's like, no, the kidney stone's been
Cause the
growing for
gout.
years.
Causes the gout.
The gout, you know, because it can present like gout-like symptoms, and the only difference is, you know, oxalate crystals versus uric acid crystals, right? So yeah, and then the same thing. I know somebody who tried carnivore for like maybe a year, whatever, and had a heart attack. But it's like that blockage in that artery had to have been growing for decades, probably. You're not just a year of eating meat. They
Overnight,
don't
yeah.
understand that, right? They think, oh, I ate meat and now I got a heart attack. So
Yeah, I mean, the other way you got to look at it is maybe them eating meat's what saved them from being 6 foot under.
could be, yeah.
Because, you know,
But that person also had a long history of major inflammatory problems, lots and lots of joint pain and stuff like that. So
Well, that's why I like hearing the long-term carnivores who do their tests. Like Kelly Hogan was talking about her tests, and it's like everything's like really optimal, right? After she's a long-term carnivore, and like she does all those tests that people fear, right? The long-term heart stuff and the cholesterol and the glucose and all that stuff, and then it all is really good, you know. And that gives me that sense of like, because people think, oh, you're doing fine now, but it's gonna take its toll,
Catch
right?
up to you, right? Yeah.
Which is, I don't believe that anymore. You know, I'm not afraid of that anymore.
no.
So,
no, I mean, you know, I found out like this was all a big mistake. I'd be like, well, my quality of life was so much better all that time. Then I can't imagine not doing it, right?
I mean, a lot of us had no other choice. I have no other choice. I had no life before carnivore. I couldn't work a full-time job. I don't know how I would have finished my master's degree. You know, I mean, I wouldn't be able to maintain my own apartment before carnivore. Like it just,
I used. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, how can you? And there's people that do it, sorta, but with 3 migraines a week, at my worst, at
Wow.
best, a migraine a month. I mean, not a month, a week, So being out, losing a day of your life every week, how
Or
do you,
3.
or 3 or
Yeah.
more, right?
Yeah.
Not functional. I function this way. Okay? If I live to be, say, 72 without migraines, and let's say I was able to live 130 with migraines,
Wow.
that's stupid, right? No one would take that, even if that was the option. But with carnivore, I believe I might be able to live to be 130 and not have migraines. And to me, that is the true miracle. And that's what's truly beautiful about it, is you get both.
Yeah. And Emily's story is so profound, it's like she wouldn't be functional and thriving at all, like if she didn't change her diet. And I've told people about her, about how she's like, she seems pretty extreme, eating like raw frozen meat. But it's like, if you look at how like her transformation and just like how electric and thriving she is now, it's like, it is a miracle, that she like did that and figured it out, So
Yeah,
I
and we clearly
people feel limited. It's
sorry.
like, you're not limited. Sorry, but go ahead. Sorry, Tom.
I was just gonna say we clearly ate raw meat much longer than we ate cooked meat because we didn't have control of fire for quite some time, right? So what else would we do? And we know now that we basically cruised around eating animals because there just weren't a bunch of plants available. That's how we evolved. So it makes sense. And everybody's scared of meat. But every time I ever got food poisoning, it was from cooked food. I eat raw meat and raw fish and now raw eggs all the time, and they never make me sick. Every time I got food poisoning, it was from cooked food. And here in California, we've had these issues with like cilantro and stuff like that. It's contaminated bread.
All that stuff is what's going to get you sick.
Yeah, and there's all kinds of. I tell people all the time, just scroll through the FDA website or all the recalled foods. Every once in a while, you get that ground beef from some giant factory that was recalled, but most of the other stuff in there is vegetables and breads and packaged foods that are contaminated. It's a rarely meat.
Yeah.
We actually had a recall on spinach because it was making people hallucinate. Yeah, look it up. Look it up. You'll see it. You'll see it.
All right.
It's crazy.
I'm looking forward to reading that one.
Oh, and I highly recommend everyone watch the movie The Happening from 2008. You want to know how toxic plants are. There you go.
That's in my homework. I'm definitely going to watch it.
It's a documentary.
2023. Guys, I've got to run. I've got to do a couple of things as well.
Ciao, mate.
Ciao. Happy 2023, everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
All right. I'll see you guys soon. All the best. Good to see you. Bye. Ciao, ciao.
Joe looks all tan, man. He's been out in the sun.
I am tanned.
Tan.
I was just about to hang up. I am tanned because I've been getting plenty of sun. Look, tanned up to there because of my cycling jersey. That's
Return of the Zebra Man.
Yeah. Not as bad this year. Okay, gotta run. See you guys. Love you all. Ciao. Bye-bye.
Love you.
Much love. Ciao.
Oh, and then there were 3. It's all right. I like to maximize my Janice time.
You're gonna close out the recording though.
Yeah, we better go. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. It's nice to have a bunch of faces back on the screen. And so I'd like to say at the end of every episode, eat some meat. Feel better.
Whatever you do, don't fall down the carb hole.